Well, good morning, men. It's June the 28th. So we turn to the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, for God's daily dose of wisdom. And as I was reading through Proverbs 28, I got all the way down to verse 26 before it jumped off the page. This is what it says. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely will be delivered. Okay? Wait a second. I'm not supposed to trust my own heart? What are you talking about, Lord? Well, that word heart is the Hebrew word pronounced lib. It's man's inner immaterial nature. It's the representation of man's inner unspoken thoughts, his emotions, his motives, and his desires. And the Bible has a lot to say about man's heart. Listen to these words out of Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it? Wow, well, that's quite the indictment. Well, how about this out of Genesis chapter 6, verse 5? Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Ouch. Okay. We read about the heart it's throughout Proverbs. In fact, in Proverbs 23, verses 6 through 7, we read, "Do not eat the bread of a selfish man, or desire his delicacies. For as he thinks within himself, so he is. He says to you, 'Eat and drink,' but his heart is not with you." Wow, we're getting a pretty stark picture here. Now, the Bible's declaration that man's heart is evil and wicked and not to be trusted stands in direct contrast and in opposition to the world's notion that man is basically good. If man is good, then anything he thinks or does is good. There are no restraints on his actions. A drag queen story hour is considered good by the world's standards. Abortion is an act of compassion in the eyes of the world instead of the murder of innocent life. Now, the logical end of this line of reasoning is that man is God and nothing is wrong. Every man does what is right in his own eyes. They are the arbiter of what is right and what is wrong. Well, it doesn't take long. A quick trip through Genesis, Exodus, and the book of Judges reveals just how that works out. We read in Judges chapter 17, verse 6, "In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did what was right in his own eyes." That's why it's important to study the Old Testament and learn from the mistakes that were made, because those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, is there a solution? I mean, man's heart is desperately wicked. Okay, what do we do about it? Well, there is a solution. The good news of the gospel reveals that God's solution to the problem of the wickedness of man's heart. Now read this prophecy out of the book of Ezekiel. This is found in Ezekiel chapter 36, verses 26 and 27. He writes, "Moreover, I will give you a new heart," bingo, "and put a new spirit within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you will be careful to observe my ordinances." There's the solution. We need a heart transplant. And God, by his Holy Spirit, does that transformation of the heart when we receive Jesus. When we receive Jesus and submit our hearts to his rule, he places his Holy Spirit within us to guide us and direct our steps. The key is submission, daily dying to our own selfish motives so that Jesus can live through us. In fact, we read in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, the solution. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. My brothers and sisters, I love each and every one of you. And I pray that you go out and you make a difference in someone's life today. God bless you.